I've read quite a lot of books recently, so I have sorted them into two separate piles. So I'm going to do part 1 of a wrap up, then part 2 of a wrap up in another video. I'm here today to do part 1 of my recent reads, spoiler-free reviews as always, because who likes spoilers? Not me. Unless obviously it says spoilers and I go in there for spoilers, you know. So there isn't going to be any particular order to these, I just split them down the middle and I'm just going to randomly pick them out. So the first book that I'm going to talk about is the book that I read most recently. I finished this yesterday morning, and that is Girl Up by Laura Bates. I really enjoyed Everyday Sexism by Laura Bates, which I discussed when I read it. I might have been 2 years ago, but I really enjoyed it, and I've been meaning to pick up Girl Up for a while after that. And it is her follow-up from Everyday Sexism, and it discusses more issues related to sexism. I will say that this was probably more aimed at the younger generation than I am. Not that I'm really old, but it's definitely got a lot of advice in there that has passed me, such as school advice or advice on getting into a relationship and having a relationship where you're respected, and how to sort of conduct yourself in that way and to make sure that you're not being taken advantage of. And I'm already married, and I wouldn't have married him if he wasn't respecting me. So that has passed for me. But I think this would be an excellent read for mums of teenagers, or anybody who's interested in feminism and feminist issues, and teenagers as well, people that are embarking upon their new lives, sort of going into adulthood and dipping their toe in there. This is a great read for males and females alike, and it discusses sexism against both sexes, which I would like to stress, because every time I mention sexism in a video I have been berated in the comments. This is a book about feminism, equality for males and females, and there is no man hating in this, there is no shaming, nothing like that. This is a brilliant book for all involved. So I gave this 4 out of 5 stars, and I would really recommend it to, like I say, the younger generation and mums of teenagers, dads of teenagers, or teenagers themselves. Basically most people. So yeah, that is a 4 out of 5 read. The next book that I'm going to talk about is this one, An Unwanted Guest by Shari LaPena. This was amazing. I haven't read anything by Shari LaPena before, and I saw that Leanne from Literary Diversions had picked this up, and I was going to read it, but she said she hadn't really got on with Shari LaPena's previous novels, and so I was a little bit nervous as to what I might find in here, but this was a 5 out of 5 read for me. This is about a boutique inn in the middle of nowhere, and there are various people who have come from all over the place to go to this inn for the weekend to have a nice secluded weekend. It's in an area where you don't get mobile phone signal, there is no Wi-Fi, there's no way to contact the outside world except for the phone lines. But then there is a snowstorm which traps everybody inside and cuts everybody off from the outside world. The power goes down, therefore the phone lines go down, there's no way to speak to anybody on the outside, and the bodies start to turn up. This was like a really exciting game of Cluedo. That's the best way that I can describe it. I love Cluedo, and I like creepy things. Obviously I like thrillers, you'll know that if you've watched a few of these videos before. And this just was an absolute page turner, and I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I can't recommend it enough. If you enjoy, I was going to say if you enjoy page turners, of course you do. If you enjoy thrillers and you're into Cluedo and that sort of atmosphere, this will be perfect for you. The claustrophobic element of everybody being trapped in this quirky old inn with no access to the outside world just sort of made it for me. I enjoyed this so much that when I read it I wanted to read it again. So if anybody else has read this, it's fairly new out. If anybody else has read this, please let me know what you think of it down below. I want to find out that I'm not the only one who 5 out of 5 starred this. And yeah, loved it. The next book that I've got is this one, Bottled Goods by Sophie Van Leeuwen. This is a short novella. Let's see how many pages. 185, no, I missed the last chapter out. 190 pages. This is set in Romania, and it follows Alina, whose brother-in-law defects from the country and puts the whole family under the scrutiny of the secret police. And it has elements of magical realism in it. I'm not really familiar with a lot of magical realism. I don't read a lot of books that involve magic. I don't know why, because I love Harry Potter so much, but I don't know why I don't really read a lot of books involving magic. Not sure. It has a look at Romania and the sort of the old magic ways of Romania and the old customs and traditions, and as I've said previously, I'm sort of interested in Romania at the moment after reading a book set in Romania. I realised I didn't know a lot about the country, and I found it just to be quite fascinating. And so for that reason I found this book to be fascinating. It was very well written. One of the things I found slightly confusing about this book is that it jumps quite a bit through Alina's life, and it's quite sort of cut, but it has to be if it's going to be a short novella. I read it really quickly. As I said, it was a short read, but it was really enjoyable. So that is Bottled Goods. And the final book that I read, well no, not the final book that I read, but the final book that I'm going to talk about in this little wrap-up is The Hunger Games. I might possibly be the only person in the land that didn't know what Hunger Games was about, and so I picked this up blind, had no idea what I was walking into, and wow, why haven't I read this before? It's a YA, it is, do you know, I'm not going to spoil it for you. I'm not going to, because I'm assuming most people know what the Hunger Games is about, but if you don't, just pick it up and just read it. Go into it blind like I did, and you might be pleasantly surprised. I loved it. I got through it really quickly. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. Excellent. I've started reading the second one. I think I'm about 3 pages in because the baby woke up and needed a feed. So I think I'm about 3 pages in. But I can't wait to find out what further happens in this. What's going to happen to Katniss? Where's she going to go? Who does she love? What's going on? What's going on? So yeah, I'm just jumping on the Hunger Games bandwagon. It's took me a while, but I'm there, I'm for it, and I can't wait to read the rest of them. So there you go, that was a quick wrap up with a few of the books that I've read, and I will be back in the next video with some more books that I've read, wearing the same outfit and everything, because I'm not going to move from this chair. So I will speak to you all later. Let me know if you've read any of these and if you are going to read any of these, and I'll speak to you all soon. Bye for now.